to the New Beginning Church online ministry. We have an exciting lesson for you today. I want to talk to you about God's perfect timing. The plan of God is perfect and is permanent. Stay tuned and be blessed. Talk to you today about God's perfect timing. And I will reference information today and some quotes from Dr. W.O. Vault. Dr. Vault wrote a book called God's Calendar. And I will reference information from that specific book today in this lesson. Now, the plan of God is perfect and permanent. And I'm sure you immediately says back to me, why then, if God's plan is perfect and permanent, do we have poverty, hunger, war, trouble in the earth? And that's a great question. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. And the answer to that question is very simple. God created man with free will. And every man is free to rise or fall, to live in obedience to the plan of God, or to refruit that plan. If man were not free to fall, he would not be free to rise. If human beings were not free to disbelieve, they would not be free to believe. Now, Dr. Vault says that he made a trip to Russia. And he said that every morning in the Russian schools, he noticed that they would salute the Russian flag. Now, that's not unusual. We do the same with the American flag. But it's something that they did was so unusual. As they saluted the flag, they would say, "There is no God. There is no God. There is no God." They would repeat this 3 times, he says. Now, he said he don't know why they repeated it 3 times, this disbelief in God, unless they was trying to convince themselves of the truth of a false affiliation. I want you to know, we are very close to that today in America. However, no matter how much evil there is in the world, or war, or poverty, these things do not prove the imperfection of God's plan. They only prove the wickedness of the old sin nature within mankind and the power of negative volition. God's plan is not only perfect, hear me today, it is permanent. God has never, ever changed his plan for mankind, even though wicked man has failed to live up to that plan. Amen. God's perfect timing. God holds the calendar of events of the whole world in his hands. We live in a calendar conscious world where millions of people keep before them a calendar of events they have planned. Now, great businesses and organizations operate very carefully on a specific and well-articulated daily plan. If it is necessary for man to operate on a planned schedule, how much more it is imperative for God to do so. If God were visible and you could see him, you would notice that he has a calendar in his hand. This calendar of events contained the plan for the ages, and God himself will see to it that these perfect and permanent plans are carried out. Point number 4. God is on schedule right now. we are experiencing in our nation, and as a matter of fact, around the world, the coronavirus. It's a pandemic. It is happening all over the world. And many people think that God is dead. Now, there are those who believe God has gotten lost in the complexity of his own world. Now, we have passed through an era when men talked about the death of God. Well, I want you to know God is not dead. He is still alive. He reigns and he rules both heaven and earth. And God has everything under control. He holds the future in his hand. And thank God we are a part of his future. If you are part of the ecclesia, the church, you have a unique and permanent place in his future. Amen.